It's Monday, January 19th, 2026, and this is episode 351 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, everything going well for you?
Yep, going good. Snowing like crazy right now here.
Excellent. Yeah, we're in the 80s this week.
Yep.
So
snowing, and with the wind chill, I think Glenn said it was -4.
Okay, very good. We always need to get the weather out of the way on our gambling podcast. So there we go.
It's actually kind of nice because it's football playoffs today. And
just stay
college
inside
basketball
and,
games. Yeah. What else can I do, Mark? I can't go outside and do yard work or anything. And inside the house is pretty well taken care of. So I guess I'm confined to my lazy boy and
confined. Enjoy your day, Dr. Mike. But first,
I plan to.
We need to record an episode. All right, Dr. Mike, we're going to talk about predictive market platforms. You ready for this?
Gosh. I've been thinking about this for months.
All right. Well, thanks to listener Kevin for suggesting this topic. We're going to talk about predictive market platforms and specifically Kalshi. If you watch a lot of sports, you've probably seen ads for Kalshi offering legal sports betting in all 50 states. Now, how is that possible? Have you seen these ads, Dr. Mike?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Kalshi isn't just about sports, although that's where most of their income comes from. There are many future events you can bet on or invest in.
Yeah, they don't say bet.
Political outcomes, award show results, even the weather. You can make these predictions on, put your money on the line. And the way they're legally able to offer this is that they've obtained a license from the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, registering them as a dedicated contracts market. What that means is you're not betting against the house when you make wagers with them like you would a sports book. You're entering into contracts with other users on the outcome of a future event. Now, most of these contracts allow you to predict that something will or will not happen. So a yes or a no. For example, will Michigan win the men's college basketball championship? Yes or no? And buying into these contracts costs between $0 and $1. So currently in our example, the yes for Michigan winning the championship is 19 cents, and the no is 82 cents. And whichever side you pick, if you win, you'll get $1. So that's not a dollar profit. That's just $1. So if you
$1,
got 82 cents, you'd get $1 back. Your profit is only 18 cents. And then the other way, if you bet 19 cents, you're getting $1, so your profit is 81 cents. It's interesting to note, 19 cents, 82 cents, that doesn't add up to $1. Well, that's how Kalshi makes their money.
Exactly.
Right. Now, of course, people aren't risking just 19 cents, right, in that example. They're typically wagering much more. So you can think of it as buying multiple contracts. But, having this just between $0 and $1, it's easy to see basically 80% of the people are thinking the Michigan's not going to win, 20%, that they will, roughly, right? So it gives you an idea.
They're basically an intermediary.
Oh, exactly.
Who handles money for two corporations or two individuals who have decided to enter into some kind of contract.
Exactly.
And that's basically how it gets around the law.
That's why it's currently available throughout all 50 states. Let me give you another example. Will One Battle After Another movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Will One Battle After Another win Best Picture at the Oscars? Right now, yes is 81 cents. No is 20 cents. So even though the nominees haven't been announced yet, and I'm sure it'll be nominated, but there you go. That's something you can bet. And there are tons of different contracts. Take a look at their website. You don't have to join to just look at the website. Go to Kalshi and see all the different things that they offer.
Now, do they have a like a membership fee to join this, or
No
some
membership.
kind of?
In fact, I signed up just to kind of see. I didn't add any funds or anything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's no membership or anything. Right. They make their money
So
again, just taking a
just
rake or
on,
however you want to look at it. Yeah.
yeah, the VIG or the rake or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that, Mark, is why I called you to get your input on the NBA games on Thursday.
Oh, one of your students wanted to know if I had any locks for NBA. I offered my advice, but I didn't have any locks.
Right. Well, you gave me two bets. They bet the one, which was on the point spread. That won.
Good.
The other one he couldn't bet
Oh.
because it wasn't offered. It was the over/under.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I guess it wasn't offered.
Was he using Kalshi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And who it was a student of mine from 2 years ago who's going to school at Winona State, which is a little north of us. He called one of the kids who I'm presently teaching in my class because they're friends, and asked Mr. Stepp if he's got, any locks for tonight. I haven't been doing so well lately.
Yeah, if the contract's not offered, you might not be able to bet it. And again,
Right.
they're worded in such a way that it's yes or no. So if it was like an over-under,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be betting necessarily, over 200 or under 200 or something like that. It'd be phrased like, will the total score be over 100, yes or no? Take a look on the website and you can see the different contracts.
Yeah, so him and a group of other guys who are in the dorms over there, have put some money together and they're making bets using Kalshi. I think that's going to be a very popular thing among 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, I don't want to encourage a lot of gambling. College-age kids, they need to save their money. But
Yes.
I certainly understand. I was a college-aged gambler myself.
Well, and I told them, look, be careful
Yeah.
about this. And he said, oh, there's a bunch of us and we pull our money. I said, well, that's a good way so you don't get tempted to bet $100.
But don't skip class.
Don't skip class. Nobody skips class in college,
Yeah.
Mark.
Well, Kalshi uses the word trade a lot. In fact, you see some of their ads, trade now. You're not wagering. You're trading on future predictions, right? But you really can trade. In fact, if you have a contract, you can sell or trade contracts that you've already bought. So it's not completely wrong. They might want to make it sound like it's kind of the stock market. Oh, you're trading on the stock market. So you'll see that.
Aren't humans great, Mark? Because no matter what, we can find a way around anything. That's
what most of us do every second of every moment of our life.
Every second.
How do I get around this?
And that's why we're at the top of the food chain.
All right, so you can't create a contract on your own on Kalshi, but you can suggest a contract to them, and they will review it and maybe offer it. Like you might say, hey, do you think you could create a contract that says, will Cousin Vito release an episode before the end of 2026? Yes or no? And if they look at it and they think, okay, this is good, this will get a lot of action, they'll put it up there. And of course, I'd take the no on that.
Right,
but,
yeah.
A
lot of younger people, according to some of my students, do a lot of things like, will Matthew Stafford throw for 100 yards or something?
Yeah, sure.
Things like that. They do a lot of, not so much on the game, but more on the players.
Oh, yeah. Prop bets are huge.
Yeah.
Now, Polymarket is another predictive market platform, and you may have heard the story of a user who won almost $500,000 predicting that Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela's president, former president now, would be out of power by the end of January.
Wow.
His wager was around $32,500, and he won $436,000. Now, did he have insider knowledge? It kind of seems like he did. Yeah, right. Exactly. Now, insider trading is illegal in the stock market. We all know that. But there are few regulations in prediction markets. A spokesperson for Kalshi said The prediction site explicitly prohibits insider trading of any form, including government employees trading on prediction markets related to government activity. But again, enforcement right now is virtually nil. So based on this and the fact that it seems to be getting around gambling laws, you would think that legislatures would be quick to start regulating these platforms.
You would think.
And even make them illegal in some jurisdictions. And maybe that happened, but I'll add one more thing here. Donald Trump Jr. currently serves in an advisory role at Polymarket. Okay, so we'll see how fast things move here, if at all.
They're going to have to regulate it at some point.
Yeah, you'd think that'd be coming pretty soon. I'm not a finance guy, so if I misspoke at all during that whole thing or used the wrong terminology, I apologize. But I think I got the point across at least. This is how they're getting around the law, if you want to call it that, because it's a contracts market as opposed to wagering against a house.
Yeah. No, I think you did a good job explaining it. As we're not attorneys, we're not finance people. We're just here to tell you how badly it's going to screw us. Yeah.
Look, we bet sports. We do. We've never had a winning year.
No.
We're constantly putting more funds in and just losing them. If we go to Kalshi, it's going to be no different.
Right. And for us, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's great when you have a really good day and you win every bet or nearly every bet. And it's, a little disturbing when you get wiped out one day. But for us, it's entertainment.
It's entertainment.
Now, we made a bet on the outcome of a game with a point spread, and we made a bet on the over-under, and they both pushed.
Oh, yeah, that hasn't happened since we've been doing that, yeah.
I thought that was amazing. How can that happen?
It's unbelievable, Dr. Mike. It's incredible is what it's like.
Incredible. And there would be those of us who would say there's some shenanigans going on.
Oh, yeah, shenanigans, even though, it's happened 1 in 10,000 bets that we've made, right?
Right.
All right, moving on. We are aware that the contact page on our website isn't working. If you try to contact us there, you type in your message and your email address and everything. You get an error right now saying that it didn't work. I'm not sure what's going on. This is actually the responsibility of Libsyn, the provider that we use for our podcast. So I'm looking into it. For now, that doesn't work, but you can always contact us directly through our email. You can bet on that at gmail.com. And in fact, when you use that contact page, it just sends us an email. So I'm looking into that. Okay. I'll let you know how that goes.
Good. Do what you need to do to get it resolved quickly, Mark.
Yes, I will, Dr. Mike.
Feel free to use our influence.
With them. We are a highly respected gambling podcast. You do not want to mess with us.
Yeah. Expect a sternly worded letter to arrive any day now.
Yeah, that's right. That's the email that you're sending. Expect a handwritten, sternly
worded letter.
All right. Well, something that is still working on our website is our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. You can bet on that.com and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. That means it's voicemail time. First up is Frank.
Happy New Year, Mark and Dr. Mike. Frank from St. Louis, giving you a trip report. We went out to Las Vegas the week of December 14th. Did our strip walk, hit about 29 casinos, made a $100 bet on each place. Started off 0-6, almost got back to even. We had a guy with a $100 bet. We were down less than $50 as a group. He had a 16 against the dealer's ace. The dealer did not have blackjack, and he refused to hit despite my bad vibes over this. There was another player at the table. Guy got a 4. Dealer turned up a 9. We're still arguing about this. He doesn't listen to the podcast. I know he's wrong. I'd like to know the odds of a dealer breaking, having an ace, and no 10. I know that 3 cards, 7, 8, 9, he's going to win automatically. The player with the 16 is going to bust almost 60% of the time. So he wasn't in a great spot, but he went down like a coward. Anyway, other highlights of the trip. one of our young members in his early 20s had a hand-paid slot machine for $3,200. I don't know if in your early 20s winning that kind of money is a good thing or not, gambling, but good for him. For me, I had some free play at the Downtown Grand, turned a $50 free play into $675.
Nice.
That was good. And from a food standpoint, we went to the Palm Seafood Buffet. I got to tell you, that brings back the good old days. With the Las Vegas Advisor coupon, it was $43 a person, and it was just overwhelming gluttony. So again, if you can tell me what the odds are of a dealer breaking, having an ace and no 10, I'll have some more ammo for us. Other than that, have a great 2026. And again, have some great podcasts for us. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Frank. Glad your strip walk went well.
Mark, I got a couple things to say.
All right. And then I'll talk about
the odds.
The ace showing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, number one, the most common phrase, and this has been scientifically proven in the world, is "I was almost even." Am I not right?
You're absolutely right. And, you think, about even. So did you win a little? Lose a little? It's never you won a little.
No,
I was almost even.
I was almost even. Yeah. How many times have I said that? I mean, that's used more than hello or hi.
Right. And it's not always true either. That's
that's a great thing.
It's probably mostly never true. But
also, winning a large thing at a young age like that, sure, that could cause some issues, but you won. Right? What are you going to do?
How did it affect your life, Dr. Mike?
Well, it absolutely destroyed my life. To be honest. No, we had some big wins when we were young, and that kind of set us down a path. But that's what happened.
You're doing okay. You're sitting in your recliner watching football. You've got a podcast.
Yeah. Right? It's nice and warm. I have a glass of lemonade in front of me. I'm okay.
All right. Let's talk about this hand, 16 against an ace. So to answer your question, Frank, the dealer's going to bust when they have an ace showing only about 17% of the time. But let's talk specifically about 16 versus an ace. This is a losing bet in the long run, no matter what you do. But by hitting the 16 against an ace, which is what basic strategy says, you will lose less in the long run. This is a defensive move, hitting.
Right. In other words, you're going to lose no matter what.
In the long run,
you're going to lose. Right. You're going to lose less in the long run by hitting it.
So, yes, you're talking about the math. Your friend should have hit. Now, the best move, if the casino offers it, is to surrender. To remind people, when you surrender, you lose 50% of your bet. Whereas standing or hitting the 16 against an ace, you'll lose around 75% of your bet in the long run. So really surrender is what you should do.
If it's offered.
If it's offered. Otherwise, yes, hit. But again, it's a loser in the long run no matter what you do. Hopefully you get lucky on the single hand. And if you want to pass that along to your friend, whether he agrees or not, that's what the math says. Can't argue with the math.
Right. Mark, and about seafood buffets.
Okay.
I like a good buffet that has a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not specifically designed for like seafood or whatever.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to have a buffet that has a theme like that, for me, it would not be seafood, even though I love seafood. It's just that you can only eat so much seafood.
Yeah. I wonder what else they offer at that seafood buffet.
Yeah, if they had some pork or
like a carving station, right? Yeah,
carving station, something like that, then that'd be fine. Because I can eat beef until I die.
Can you now?
Yeah. But seafood, after a while, it's like, oh, I've had enough seafood.
No, I certainly understand that. And seafood is not necessarily for everyone. Your dad would probably love it because he'd just eat all the shrimp that they had.
He'd eat all the shrimp or lobster that they had. Yeah.
Buffets right now in Las Vegas, there's some very good buffets. They're a little pricey. We were talking about on our last episode how we miss coffee shops. I definitely miss the cheap buffet.
Yeah.
The reason you and I would go to a buffet was not necessarily to
fast.
have a good meal, right? It was just fast, just fill our belly, and so we can move on to.
And,
more
sometimes the
gambling.
food was pretty decent.
Sure.
I mean, we went to some bad ones, but we went to some that the food was pretty good, and you could eat a lot real quick and get out and go about your business. And then there's people like Paul, our friend Paul, who would say, I don't want to go to a buffet. I don't want to be enticed to eat that much.
Yeah. Oh, my dad would never. Yeah. Oh, go to the buffet. No. I want to go to sit. He would never opt for a buffet. My dad was the same way.
It's because your dad didn't wear cargo pants with a ton of pockets that he could sneak out food out of the buffet.
That's right. Or maternity pants. So that when you ate at the... Well, Frank, I know it sounds like we're just complaining here, but I'm glad you had a great experience at the Palm Seafood Buffet. And again, use those Las Vegas Advisor coupons. Always a good deal. Always get your money's worth on that.
Yeah.
All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Happy New Year. Hope you both are doing well. This is Pat G. from New Jersey, calling in with a quick trip report from Aruba. We went to Aruba between Christmas and New Year's Eve. Had a great stay there for, I think that was like 5-6 nights on what they call a high-rise section, Palm Beach area. Really nice. Stayed at the Holiday Inn right in the middle of the action. They had a small casino there, 1 roulette table, 3 blackjack tables, a bunch of slot and video poker machines. It was convenient to have it on site. Nothing really too exciting about it. Gambling age of Aruba is 18, like the drinking age. And this place is fairly lax. I think a 10th grader was telling me how to play roulette because I'd never really played before. Not that it's not that complicated, but I figured when I'm somewhere completely different, why not try something completely different? I donated $100 to the Holiday Inn Aruba Casino and moved on. The one interesting thing that happened there besides that was my son, who's only 16, he had the worst thing that could happen to him. First time gambling in a casino. Yeah, he won playing Huff and Puff slots. Not just the first night, but 2 nights in a row he won.
There we go.
He doubled his buy-in the first night, and then he quadrupled it the second night. And as much as I explained to him about, households and edge and all this stuff, yeah, it's too bad that he won because, we don't want that to be his first experience. But then we moved over to the Ritz. It was a hotel further up the beach. They had a nice casino, probably about 3 or 4 times the size of the one at the Holiday Inn. A bunch of table games, including like 3-card poker. And they had 1 craps table, which I remember playing on when we were in Aruba a long time ago when the Ritz first opened. $25 minimum, really good crew. I was impressed for only there being 1 table. They had a good crew working on a couple different shifts when I was there. And I used this strategy, since I don't normally pay the $25 table. It's a little bit higher than what I'm comfortable with. I used the strategy you guys discussed on one of the calls on how to play $25 table, and it worked out well. Just doing 2 times odds instead of 3, 4, 5 on my come bets, and just playing the 6 and 8 sometimes for like $30. The one funny thing that happened there, it never happened to me before. It was kind of a little hot out, over the course of the trip. And so I decided to get an Aperol Spritz, which is like basically like a...
He got cut off there. But he did follow up with an email to finish that story. He says, the Aperol Spritz issue was it came in a very tall goblet wine glass, and it could not fit on the rail under the table. Ever had that happen to you before? It was
yes.
Yeah, that is annoying, isn't it? Where
it's terrible.
You can't get it under there. It was a first for me. The drink was made really well, and the session was going well, so I couldn't walk away. So I did what I had to do and played one-handed for like 25 to 30 minutes while I drank the spritz. I considered putting it on my head, but since it wasn't hot chocolate, I wasn't sure if that was allowed. Well, probably a good move, right? Since you didn't know what the rules were. I'd hate for you to get kicked out by putting
you don't want to
since
push
it wasn't hot chocolate. Yeah. Well, good. Thanks, Pat, for the report on Aruba.
Yeah, I love saying Aruba. It's a fun word. Aruba. When you say that, doesn't it just sound like a tropical paradise?
Aruba.
Aruba. Yeah. I'm going to Aruba.
It does sound good. I can taste the sweet rum drink in my mouth when you say it. Yeah, I agree with you.
It releases all the serotonins in your brain, makes you feel, I want to go to Aruba. Nobody says that about Scranton. Scranton. That sounds rough.
Yeah, Scranton sounds rough. Suddenly the taste in your mouth is like sandpaper.
It's like you just licked the inside of a garbage can.
Yeah, apologies to our Scranton
listeners. Yeah, they can't help it. That's just the name of their town. What can you do?
All right, next.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Will from Rhode Island. I'm on the last night of a 4-night split stay out in Las Vegas from January 1st, and I'm flying back tomorrow, which is January 5th. The first 2 nights I was at Red Rocks, which was great as usual, comped rooms. I love the steak out there, and go hiking in the morning out the Red Rock Canyon, come back, have some drinks, play some slots. It was great. I got a couple hand pays. The second 2 nights, I'm over at Fontainebleau, also comped from a previous stay. Great property. I really enjoy it here. The thing I thought was interesting is I just hit a $1,400, what I thought was hand pay, and the lady came over, took my information, my driver's license, all that information, filled it in the form, and then looked at it and said, oh, wait, now the W-2G limit is $2,000, and it's no longer $1,200. I guess that went in effect a couple days ago. I was not aware of this. If you guys mentioned it, I totally missed it. But anyway, I thought it was an interesting, positive thing for us to all, anyone who enjoys Vegas, to enjoy that. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, bye.
Yeah, Will, we got your call actually between the time we recorded our last episode and when we dropped the last episode. So you didn't miss it. We talked about the W-2G limit getting raised to $2,000. There will be a period here, though, until the machines are all calibrated, where you'll get a hand pay if it's between $1,200 and $1,999, because the machine will stop and say, attendant coming. You just won't get the W-2G if it's within those amounts. So the machines are going to have to be reset to reflect the new 2000.
Right. That'll take a while because I'm sure that's not the high priority.
All right. Next up is Rev Dan.
Hey guys, it's Rev Dan from Tulsa. Happy New Year. Just wanted to give a quick trip report. The wife and I got away for a quick 2-night getaway to Black Hawk, Colorado on New Year's Day and had a great time. We stayed at the Monarch, which was a really nice property, very well maintained. I have to say the service was pretty poor, but as I was talking with pit bosses, they said that they just have a really hard time getting enough employees because nobody actually lives in the town and nobody wants to commute in, and that made a lot of sense to me. But again, overall, great trip. We loved the steakhouse there. I think it's called the Chop House. And I had a great run at the sportsbook betting college football. I went 7-1, and my picks, that was all against the spread. It wasn't like I was, betting a bunch of minus 200 or minus 300 games. So I was really thrilled with that. That really kind of saved my trip because I lost at just about everything I played. Although they were losing, I got to play for quite a while, which was a lot of fun. I played Baccarat for the first time and really enjoyed that. It goes pretty slow and you don't have to pay much attention. So I was able to watch college football and get free drinks and kind of watch what was going on with the cards. And that was fun. I couldn't believe how many Baccarat tables they had, like 5 or 6, and they were at times all of them full. I noticed the same thing at several of the other casinos. So apparently that's just a really popular game in Black Hawk. I was wondering if you had any insight on that and why that may be, why it's such a popular game there. I had an interesting thing happen at the Pie Gow table. The dealer set his hand, so face up, 5-5-7-7-2. So he had 2 pair on the bottom and then Queen 8 on the top. And I was really disappointed because I had a pretty bad hand. I couldn't even beat his Queen 8. And I started to throw my cards in. And the guy next to me said, no, you've got a flush. You got to play your flush. And the dealer looked perplexed. And so he moved it to a flush, which made his top 2 now 7-5, which I could push on. So I was really happy. But the dealer said, I don't know. He wasn't sure. So he stepped back. And I think it was maybe just another dealer who was on a break. It wasn't the pit boss, but he started conferring with somebody else. And they talked for probably a good minute. They couldn't come to a conclusion. So then they brought the pit boss over. And the 3 of them talked for at least another minute. And then the pit boss went and opened up a cabinet and got a book out and probably spent 2 minutes flipping through this book and looking it over and finally came back. It was a good 4 minutes, probably, maybe 5 minutes. And he said, yep, that is the right right way to play it. So ended up pushing on the hand. One last quick story. I was at the Pai Gow table, and the woman next to me was sitting with her feet up on the chair, so her knees like pressed against her chest, which in and of itself was a little strange and awkward, but making it extremely awkward was that she had taken her shoes off. She had her bare feet up on the chair right next to me, and it was just really awkward, and I kind of wanted to say something, but I'm usually the type to just not say anything and move on. But wondering what you guys think about that. How would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10 as a social faux pas? Bare feet up on the chair playing Baccarat. Guys, I hope you have a great new year and look forward to more episodes.
All right. Thanks, Dan. What do you think, Dr. Mike?
Oh, well, for me, it's a 10 because I am deathly afraid of toe fungus.
See, I'm thinking, as long as they're clean.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You never know, Mark. Toe fungus can be a bad thing. Have you ever seen somebody wearing sandals and their nails are all yellow and gross? That's toe fungus.
Yeah.
And that can be spread. And I don't want any naked part of anybody on a chair. It's a communal type chair.
All right. I got you. So if you're wearing shorts, you make sure that your thighs, the naked part of your thighs, aren't actually touching the chair.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Save the naked parts of your body for your lazy boy at home.
Okay. Yeah, as far as that Pai Gow hand, I think if the dealer had an ace instead of the queen 8, actually had an ace, the house way probably would have been to play the 2 pair. But without an ace, they want to make it real simple for the dealers to set their hands. And this makes sense that this would be the house way. Play the flush just because that's such a big hand, even though the 2-card hand in this case would only be 7-5. It just makes it easy. I think queen 8 is too low to keep the 2 pair together. But I'm glad that the other player at the table noticed. It certainly helped Dan.
Yeah. Well, and also you got to remember the house is playing for the long run. The house, they don't care about a push. They're just shooting.
Right. They're still making money. And again, you want to make the house way simple. You don't want to make it perfect because then it'd be too complicated. Just make it simple so the dealers know, exactly how to set the hand. I'm not sure why Baccarat is so popular in Blackhawk. It depends on the clientele, that kind of thing. But we saw a lot of tables as well. On the other hand, and this is kind of interesting, Pai Gow Poker is not. When we were there were only 2 casinos, Monarch and the Lodge, that still had Pai Gow Poker.
Lynn and I had that same complaint about Monarch. The food service was terrible.
Yeah, he's talking about bad service. I assume that's not like rude service or anything like that. It's just understaffed.
Yeah, way understaffed. We waited forever before the server came over.
Yeah.
And then after we ordered, we waited forever to get the meal.
Yeah. That's too bad. And it's probably worse during the winter. They're talking about commuting.
Of course.
Yeah.
Driving those roads in the winter's got to be a chore.
Yeah. Right. Something to keep in mind. Still love Blackhawk, of course, but we go when the weather's a little nicer.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
All right, next call.
Hey, good morning, guys. This is Gary from Augusta, Georgia, waking up at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi, Mississippi this morning. I had a little incident Friday night that kind of took me by surprise. I went up to the main bar to get a drink before going to bed, and they told me I had to sit and play for a certain amount of time using a certain amount of money before I earned the free drink. Well, the first drink was kind of easy to earn, no problem. Got my pina colada because the daiquiri machine was out. Finished it up. It was a pretty good one, pretty tall. But when I ordered my next one, they said I had not played long enough. Now, I'm used to sitting at the bar playing with their bad pay tables on the video poker. I know, giving it up a little bit, but, getting the free drinks, meeting some people. But I could never earn that second drink. I sat there and played for a while. I also noticed that there was a lot less drinks being paid out to the players, so that really reduced the bartender's tips. I know I usually have a couple, and like I said, I could only get one. I just didn't think that was a good move. I mean, the Beau Rivage might be getting a little bit more play there, but they're really cutting the bartender's tips, and they didn't seem to be very busy. They spent most of their time just walking around looking at, I guess there's a little light behind the machine that they could see to see who has earned their next free drink. Anyway, love the show, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah, that is a shame. A lot of the bar tops now have these lights behind them that the bartenders can see, red, green, that kind of thing to indicate whether or not you've earned the drink. The guys at Handy at the Shandy know a little more about this, but some machines, once you've earned the drink, the light just stays green as long as you continue to play, and they'll keep giving you drinks. There may be some where once you get a drink, maybe the bartender flips a switch and you turn back to red and you've got to earn it again. Another thing to keep in mind is if you stop playing for a certain amount of time, your light might go to red. Even though you're sitting there, maybe you talk to somebody came by, oh, hi, and you talk to them for, maybe 3 minutes. Maybe suddenly it goes back to red and you have to start over again. Anyway, it'll depend on the property. It'll depend on the bartender, whether or not they are sticklers for the rules. But yeah, it's too bad that it's kind of come to this. What they're trying to circumvent is people who just sit there and really don't play and get the free drinks. It's a bottom line kind of thing. The corporations that own the casinos, and it's a trend that started a few years back, and who knows, maybe they'll reduce it a little bit since Vegas is really hurting. Nobody's going to Vegas anymore. So,
well, if they really want to keep patrons happy,
you're right. It makes customers mad, and they're going to go somewhere else.
You don't want to offend the good customers. There is a limit to how much you can nickel and dime people.
Yeah. All right, let's hear from Allison.
Hi, this is Allison. I have called in once in the past, but it's been a few years. And I was calling because I wanted to trip report on the Hard Rock Tejon that opened in Tejon, California, which is about 70 miles northeast of Los Angeles, 70, 80 miles. So I think it is the newest, closest casino to Los Angeles. It was really nice property. There were tons of newer machines, very few of old bank slots, but lots and lots of new slot machines there. There was a high-limit table room. There was also a high-limit slot room. There is a hotel expansion planned with a pool that's going to be, I think, ready in 2027. But for the moment, it's literally just the casino and some restaurants and bars and stuff like that. It's all surface parking, and there's a big model of it in the middle of the floor when you walk in of what the whole thing's going to be, and it's funny because it's just like a giant, huge parking lot. I was able to tier match there, so I was platinum with Caesars, and I was able to get legendary through Hard Rock, which was really nice. I did have to wait in the line to talk to the customer service people, but it went really quick, and everybody was very helpful. They only had one active craps table with cards, obviously because it's California. They did have a lot of bubble and stadium craps, but only one craps table that we saw. And it looked like table minimums, and this was on the Friday right after New Year's, table minimums were $15. There was a Hard Rock Cafe in there, along with another, I think, steakhouse called Deep Cut. There was a really nice, food court kind of thing, or, whatever we're calling them now. And that included a pizza place, a coffee shop with some good sandwiches and stuff, tacos. There was a chicken place that was open a little bit later, along with a bar. So, yeah, it was really nice to have a brand new property so close to Los Angeles, because we don't have a lot by us in that sense. It was pretty similar. I'd also, about a year ago, gone to the new Hard Rock Casino in Rockford, Illinois, and they kind of had the same vibe, and they were both, pretty lovely, overall, modern-looking casinos. So it was clean and nice, and we're excited to have it in the area. So just wanted to report. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Allison. Yeah, great report. Yeah. Big new Hard Rock here in California.
You got to head up there, Mark.
I'll think about it. It'd be about a 4-hour drive for me without traffic, but yeah, maybe make a special trip up there, spend the night.
Well, on your way to Vegas, maybe.
It's not really on the way to Vegas, but
I know, but you could leave, go there for a day and then drive to Vegas.
All right. Well, okay. Maybe the next time I go to Vegas, I'll plan on driving up there first, at least spending the night, and then driving over to Vegas. I'd say that's unlikely, but I'll pencil it in here.
Well, you're retired now.
I'm retired, right? I'm super busy.
You could also hire a driver. With the driver, you can have, a couple of other people in the back playing cards the whole way.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Potentially, giving you the opportunity to make all the money for your whole trip before you even get to Vegas.
Oh, yeah. So if I pick and choose the right people.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Maybe rent a limo, sit in the back, and just play poker. All right. Yeah. Now you're thinking smart, Dr. Mike.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Human beings, we can work these things out.
Yeah. All right. Let me try to come up with a list of friends.
I'm sure you know plenty. Mary, you're on the list.
All right. Next call.
Hi, Dr. Mike and Mark. This is Gene calling from Chicago. Just wanted to thank you for such a great podcast. I've been listening from the very start and hope you guys have a ton of followers who never have called in. But given that you're at episode 350, I thought I'd make my first call and tell you how much I appreciate everything you guys do. I enjoy gambling and I absolutely love going to Vegas. But I will tell you, we go probably twice a year to Vegas, and I've lost every single time we've gone for probably the last at least 10 years. I can't even remember the last time we won there, but we just keep going back. And I probably have, I know gambling's a negative EV game, but I win and lose in my normal home casinos and things like that. But Vegas just does it to me every time. I'm wondering if you guys have that experience at a specific casino that you don't go to anymore and whatnot. But for me, it's the entire city of Las Vegas, unfortunately. But still going to go, still going to hope for the best. Thanks for everything that you do.
We certainly have had streaks of losing in Las Vegas, very long streaks. I would say, Gene, stick with it. You'll eventually have a winning trip. You were talking about how when you go to your local casinos, you kind of win and lose. Maybe it's just because you're in Vegas probably longer than you spend in your local casino. So the house edge will catch up with you, is more likely to catch up with you.
There's a time element involved there. But I love his eternal optimism.
Yeah, keep going.
He's still going to go to Vegas.
Maybe he should stop exclusively playing Keno. Maybe that's the problem.
Gene, just say to yourself, this is what I do.
That's how we get around it.
Yeah, that's how you get around those things. This is what we do.
Well, good luck, Gene. All right, let's hear from our buddy Tim Lawson.
Mark, Mike, Tim, Better Life here. You guys were talking about the coffee shop had gone away. We kind of missed Keno runners, at times. And I'm curious, as a couple guys who have gambled in Vegas and in other casinos for a few decades now, what are some things that you enjoy about contemporary casino gaming that maybe wasn't true 25 years ago? So flipping the question of hey, what is kind of better now than it was, whether that means game availability, how technology has maybe improved or impacted the game. And if there is no answer to this, that's fine, but I'm curious what the other side of the coin looks like, is if there's anything about contemporary casino life that you prefer or enjoy now that wasn't the case, 2 to 3 decades ago. Boy, that was a long time ago, you guys. You guys have been around for a while, but we enjoy all of your stories. Okay, guys, love you. Bye-bye.
All right, Dr. Mike, I'll answer first because you're just hearing this question for the first time, and I've had a little while to think about it.
I've got several things I've already thought of.
Certainly the proliferation of casinos across the country. It's much easier now for me to get to a casino and play. So I would say, number one, that's huge. Also, when it comes to craps rules have gotten better since you and I used to go, went in our 20s, Dr.
Well, when
Mike,
we first started, it was double odds.
Double odds was the most, except for Binion's downtown. Double odds was the most you found everywhere. Now you've got 3, 4, 5, you've got 10, you've got 100. And you pay the VIG only on wins. That was not the case when we first started going. So those are two huge things for me. What about you, Dr. Mike?
Well, number one, Mark, I think is high ceilings.
Okay, you like that better than sort of the
low,
confined, claustrophobic.
Low, confined, claustrophobic, very smoky casinos that we started at.
Yeah.
As opposed to now where they have high ceilings, the smoke is
better ventilation.
Better ventilation. Yeah, it's a nicer atmosphere. Going along with the high ceilings is the clean carpets that you have now.
Uh-huh.
Some of those older casinos back like in the 80s, those carpets were nasty.
Yeah.
And the quantity and quality of games, I guess.
Okay.
When we first started going, Mark, it was really pretty much blackjack, a roulette or two, and craps, and slot machines.
Yeah,
right?
no carnival games.
No carnival games. And Baccarat was something that was usually in the high limit room and not out on the floor.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't have like mini or midi Bach on the
Baccarat,
floor.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
No. So it is kind of nice that you have a lot more games to choose from, and they're always coming up with new ones.
Yes.
Another good thing about casinos from our day is there's no coins.
Okay, yes. I think people are nostalgic for the coins, but you're right. Your hands are a lot cleaner now because you're not touching all the coins.
You're not carrying around a bucket of coins. In some of the places, especially if you were there, at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something, it was hard to even find, where do I take these coins?
Well, even if it wasn't late at night, maybe it was the middle of the day, you might have to wait in line.
Yeah,
right, for the coin.
I remember
exchange,
distinctly many times going to bed with a bucket of coins on the nightstand next to me because I didn't want to wait in that line. And, I'll just do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
The quantity and quality of shows in Las Vegas, if you're into that, is extremely better,
yeah. And the food, if you're into that, right.
Yeah, food is a lot better.
We'll never make a blanket statement, things were better in the old days. Because that's just stupid. But
things were better to us because we have fond memories of certain things.
It's just nostalgia. All right, last call.
Hey guys, this is Jeff from Los Angeles. I have a trip review. I went to Vegas between Christmas and New Year's. Stayed at Circa. Circa was pretty much the same, but Binion's, I've always known right when you walk into Binion's, there's that crap table. And there's sort of like often lasciviously dressed ladies. It's like a third party they bring in to do the craft game. And then there were other craft tables further back. That craft table at the very front of the doors is gone. It's been moved back about 50 feet. And that was really the only full-size table. There's another table that I never saw open, but only half of it can you get people around it that have racks and stuff like that. I'll send you guys a picture of it. That was new there. And at the Grand, right across from, they still have their craft table, but right across from that, they have like a stadium craft machine and stations. I asked the dealer about it. She said she didn't even know what that was. She said it only been there a couple of days. So that's a new thing. I'm not sure about the Golden Nugget, but they have a stadium craft table that I was at a lot. They might have had that there for a while. I just never noticed it. But those are usually lower limits, $5 maybe. That's the one at the Golden Nugget when I was there. It was a $5 limit. And then I saw a roll to win at Fremont. I'm not often in there, so that might have been there for a while. But I played at roll to win, had a good roll or two. There's like a plexiglass on the floor on the layout of the table, and there's little spaces between the little components. Maybe it's for dice sliding, but you can't do that there, but it's even hard for the stickman to give it back to you. And the stickman I was playing with, I'm sure was a blackjack dealer or something like that because he didn't know anything about craps, and I'm guessing that's why they like it. They give him the stick, and he doesn't have to take in money or pay out or make any bets. We all do it. A 5 came up that was a 3 and a 2, and he looked over, saw the 3, put it in, looked over again, saw the 2. He couldn't do it all in one. He didn't know any terminology, wouldn't call out any rolls. But the stadium craps was growing on me. Another thing is that you can sit at your own station. You have your own.
And he got cut off there, but he also sent a follow-up email. Just want to finish my thoughts. Some positive things about stadium craps. You get your own space. You get to sit down while you play craps. I like rolling the dice. And I think a lot of people pass the dice when playing stadium craps just because you have to be up there in front of everybody alone. It's a little bit like getting in front of the class and being on the chalkboard. And I think that's too much for some. Also, if you're at a $10 table, you can place a $10 6 or 8 bet. Probably could place a $1 bet on any number because they can pay you and change. You just get a ticket at the end. Don't get me wrong, I'd still rather play traditional craps, but the stadium craps is growing on me, especially since the lower limits tend to be there. So thank you very much, Jeff. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations. From Kurt, From Nathan and from the National Association of Casino Party Operators, thank you very much. You can buy merchandise for You Can Bet on That and for the Better Life at bettermerch.com. That's BETTOR merch.com. You'll find a link for that at the top of our webpage. Also on our webpage, you'll find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television in the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings. If you're looking for a movie to watch, check out our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonThat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at youcanbetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetOnThat. Take it away, Dr. Mike.
Mark, speaking of your movie list, is Armageddon on that list?
No, Armageddon's not on that list. Should it be, Dr. Mike?
It should be, because one of the things that one of the guys asked for, if they want him to go on this crazy, scary mission, is a Emperor's package at Caesar's Palace for the week.
Oh, okay.
And there's a scene in there where they show him rolling dice on his time off.
All right.
I just thought of that as you were talking that. Yeah, it's a picture inside Caesar's Palace, and he's rolling dice at a craps table.
All right, very good. I don't think it qualifies for the list, but I'm glad that you've mentioned to our listeners that there is a gambling scene in Armageddon, your favorite movie of all time.
I have a poster, believe it or not. It's about 4 to 6 feet wide and about 3 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
Christopher had got it when the movie came out through the studio, and I'm trying to get that framed. It's going to go somewhere in the house.
It's pretty big to get framed.
I know, it's hard, but I'm going to get it framed and put it somewhere in this house.
All right, be sure to take a picture once it's done.
Yeah, it's either that or a picture of me laying on my side completely naked with my leg kind of twisted just so you can't see any of the private parts.
Let's go with the Armageddon poster.
Yeah, and I'm excited about these football games. And here's my picks for the Super Bowl.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, folks, he's making picks here where there's still 8 teams left.
Yeah, there's still 8 teams left. So
we're recording before these. So go ahead, Dr. Mike.
With the 8 teams left, I'm thinking that the Super Bowl is going to come down to the Rams and the New England Patriots.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
That's fine.
And so I am excited about football, and we got college basketball going on. I think on the next podcast or two, we're going to have to start talking about NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you going to Vegas for March Madness?
Well, I know a lot of people who are going for sure. Whether I go or not, I don't know.
You don't know? The answer is you're not going. You know you're not going.
Well, I live further away now. You know how many times we went when we lived right there in San Diego?
0 times.
0 times.
All right. If it turns out you go to Las Vegas for March Madness, let me know and I'll join you.
Yes, I know you would.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk again in 2 weeks.
Good night.
So excited! Did you see the ring? Oh my God. I can't wait to tell my parents I'm marrying a doctor.
He's a dentist.
But it doesn't matter. The invitation will still read Doctor and Mrs. What's his last name?